Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Ruins of Warsaw, our Vampire the Masquerade game set in 1947 in Warsaw, Poland. I'm Alexandra and I'm the storyteller.
Hi, I'm Dolores and I'm playing Janina of Clan Bruja.
Hi, my name is Faye and I'm playing Beatrice Wozniak of Clan Malkavian.
So we had a bit longer break and now we're coming back for our 22nd episode, which I don't know, I guess is also like a second season because we had such a long break. So just to get back into all this, let's quickly recap what this show is about. So we started off following three young kindred who, with a sire of one of them and a Nosferatu acquaintance called Roman, managed to survive by binding together during the destruction of Warsaw during the Second World War. At the start, they were separated from the rest of kindred society, not knowing how much of it survived, some of them never having experienced it at all, having been embraced during the war. But as the story progressed, they got introduced. First, Sabbat, which was chilling and frightening experience, and later also to Camarilla through encountering a young Malkavian who gave them a contact for the Camarilla. Having called the right number, they met with the sheriff, were introduced to the prince, and integrated into the kindred society, where they made some possible allies and friends, and some maybe not quite enemies, but people who didn't quite take very kindly to them. But they successfully completed the task they received from the sheriff to test their abilities, having investigated a masquerade breach where they discovered a Malkavian called Leonard, who, having escaped his sire and not knowing anything about kindred rule society, accidentally Googled his friend and shared with his friends everything about his condition, not quite understanding it. And they brought Leonard back to the Elysium, where weren't going very well for him, but on a request of Mara, his life was spared on a condition that Mara would take care of the problems he caused through sharing the information. Subsequently, the coterie also received a proposition of working for the Venture Primogen and performing a task for him. This was primarily directed at Bea, but at her associates as well. And they agreed and were sent to investigate Sabbat Haven, recently located by the Camarilla, to find out as much as they could about enemies and look for possible signs of few of Camarilla kindred who had gone missing. However, unfortunately, that mission didn't go very well, and they ended up captured by the Sabbats, where they learned a bit more about the sect and why that is a threat to be avoided. Having made, well, but they have gotten to know some of the kindred there a bit better, and Bea was even told to convey a message to her sire about a desired meeting, a meeting desired by her, a former friend of her sire who now found herself in Sabbat. that Sabbath Kindred was going to release Bea, but was intercepted by one of her packmates who intervened. But the coterie was soon rescued by the Warsaw anarchs, with whom they haven't had any contact beforehand. And they were taken initially to the anarchs' haven in Łazienki Park, where they spent a little bit of time to regain their strength. But Bea quickly wanted to reunite with her sire and with the apparent leader of anarchs, Bruja Isidore. She went back to Camarilla's stronghold in Hotel Bristol, so that she could convey all that happened to the Ventru Primogen, meet her sire, and also so that Isidore could negotiate with Camarilla about the possibility of anarchs working with it or rejoining, given the threat of Sabbat, who has been encircling the anarch haven. Meanwhile, Mara and Janina got to know anarchs a bit better, getting in arguments with some and befriending the others. But wanting to help and find a different solution, they decided to take a risk and investigate into the animals who have been observing the territory around where the anarchs were hiding. Mara spoke to one of the rats they found, inquiring about its master and wanting to set up a meeting with him. And too late, realizing that the master was a kindred that they very briefly saw during their captivity in Sabbat. Not noticing or not thinking to be as careful as anarchs wanted, they went back to the anarch haven, where they were met by Malkavian Primogen, who asked them to take care of Bea's sire for them when they were missing. And they went to fetch her and brought her to the anarch haven, where Bea, having spoken to the Ventru Primogen, returned to get her friends to also, at least for a time, go back to the Ventru to get them to go back to Ventru Primogen, to give their perspective on the events, also having been assured that the fact that in captivity Janina committed diablerie will not be an issue. However, before they could all head back to Hotel Bristol, they were attacked by Zimishi they previously saw in Sabbat, accompanied by a woman whom they briefly encountered when they were still on their own at Powązki Cemetery, and by many changed, reshaped dogs that proved somewhat dangerous even to kindred. During the fight, Felicia, Bea's sire, made sure Bea would run away, and Bea, unable to resist Bloodbond, indeed ran away with her sire and one of the anarchs, the Veador, called Nina. And Janina and Mara tried to fight and help the anarchs, who also were engaged in combat with the attackers. However, during that fight, Mara died, diablerized by a Zimishi, whom she invited. And Janina, despite trying very hard, was not able to save her. With Janina's sire Daniel pulling her away from the fight, not letting her jump at the Zimishi. After those events, Bea reported to Venture Primogen and went back to Hotel Bristol with Nina and her sire. And Janina and her sire Daniel made a way through the sewers underneath the streets. Also, well, away from the place where they were attacked, first of all, but eventually more towards Bristol as well. And then, after Bea used her gift to locate her sister and rushed to find her, Bea and Janina reunited and briefly talked about their loss. Janina confessing her complete lack of ability to cope at the moment or process or knowing what to do next and how to live. And they took a moment to console each other. Despite anger that Janina felt at Bea for running away, their bond of friendship and sisterhood was still there, at least somewhat reasserted. And we will pick up the story not long after. As you are walking together towards Hotel Bristol, Daniel, still very hurt, just like you are, Janina, is following few steps behind you, hands in his pockets, looking down, clearly tense, but also leaving you a bit of space and following you, not protesting. Is there anything you wish to discuss on your way there?
I think at present I'm pretty quiet. I will look to Janina and say, do you need to feed before we go inside, or?
Yes, I think I need to feed.
Okay.
And I think Daniel needs to.
Okay.
Daniel fed just before you met with Bea.
All right, I remember.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, then just me. I remember that.
He's still very wounded and presumably will need more Vita sooner rather than later, but he is holding it together. You helped him.
Yeah, it came back to me now. I remember.
Yes.
I looked at Daniel. If anything goes wrong, I'm not very well suited to stopping, but I can do crowd control.
I can help.
I appreciate that. Okay. We're right back.
Janina, I'll make sure we keep it safe for everybody. Well, as safe as it can ever be.
We're right behind you.
And before you get to the hotel, you're still in the back streets. Daniel looks around, you look around. And you are able to find a woman wrapped in her heavy coat, with a hat on her head, walking slightly hunched, carrying a bag of some clothes, few groceries, just walking along one of those streets, visibly tired.
She's an older woman, or like?
She's
young?
not older. She's maybe like around 50.
Okay. Okay. Then I will. She's in front of me or behind me or in the
She's kind
side.
Let's say she's walking. Like you see her walking down the street, and you're around the corner on the other street.
Oh, okay.
So you just like glance to the side, and you see her coming towards you to
Okay.
the crossroads.
I will wait when she's closer, and then I will approach her. And if she's carrying a lot of things, I will try to help her carry these things and approach
She's
her
carrying
in
a
that way.
quite heavy bag. So you come up to her and offer to help her carry a bag. And she at first is a bit taken aback, but then looks to you and smiles. Oh dear. Oh, thank you so much. And she gives her bag to you.
Well, when she's giving me the bag, I'm like reaching in as I want to hold it, and then I grab her.
All right. Yes, I mean, she's.
If we are alone on the street and if I don't see like anyone.
Yes. Like I assume Daniel is also keeping watch. I don't want to like drag this out. So you.
Like I maybe like that. When she's giving me the bag, I'm just like it's slipping, and I want to catch it, and then I like will grab her.
Okay. What the hell? Roll me dexterity and stealth. With difficulty 6, just to see how well that goes.
Okay. I have 2 successes. I have 7.
2 successes, yes. Before she realizes anything is happening, you manage to grab her and sink your fangs into her neck. And you realize how hungry you've been. And you feel the wonderful taste of Vita. And now, because this is about hunger, you can roll your self-control with the maximum dice pool being your blood points, which I think you said was 3.
I have no penalties on self.
No, not penalties.
Yes.
And difficulty is 8 because you're a Bruja.
Okay. I have no success, and I have 1.
Oh no!
Oh my god! Okay, off to a good start.
I didn't miss this.
As per usual, feeding for us goes.
I wanted to make it easier for you, but okay. I guess this is what's happening. So, Bea, as this is happening, I assume you're keeping an eye on what's going on.
Yes, sort of a mixture of surroundings and the situation.
So you start hearing voices of someone coming along maybe parallel streets to where you were, so that they might turn. You don't know if they will turn to walk towards like the woman and all this situation or the other way, but you become aware that this is happening.
Okay. Then I will head in that direction and basically sort of go around the kind of listen to see if they're about to turn, and then basically fall out of the alleyway and act as though I've. In fact, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to act as though I've just tripped over and dropped things, and I'll get some coins in my pocket, pull them forward, and then sort of so I can drop and scatter coins across the pavement. And
all right, so you're getting ready to do that, and as this is happening,
Daniel can deal with this.
Let's hope Daniel can deal with this.
I could dream.
Fine, Janina. Roll your strength, brawl, and potence with your penalties. And Daniel is gonna roll with his penalties. And difficulty is 6.
I have 2 successes.
2 successes.
I have 6 and 9.
Okay, so right, so Bea, as you're about to turn the corner, you become aware that Daniel is struggling with Janina, but not quite able to pull her off as she is drinking.
Is it like equal footing, or is it like he's really struggling?
No, it seems like he's about to, but then she kind of moves a bit more.
Okay.
And you hear now louder voices of you think like, and when you glance around the corner, like there's 3 men coming along the street. They look a bit tipsy. One of them is kind of swaying. One is carrying a bottle and taking a big sip. They're all laughing. They're talking about some work colleague who always annoys them.
Okay, is there like a rock or anything on the ground near me?
Yes, there's rubble all over the city.
Are there buildings with windows and whatnot?
It's a harder question whether there would be a building with a window.
On the street where the men are at.
The men are at, yeah. Well, let's say there would be like an untouched. Like there is some reconstructed window. There is some like glass the building collapsed.
Okay, and is it like a lived-in building or is it not unoccupied? Roughly speaking, does it look like it would be unoccupied?
One looks unoccupied, the other looks like there's probably someone there because they put in this glass.
Okay, I want to pick up a rock and throw it at the one that looks occupied and try and break the window.
All right.
Property damage.
Roll your, I think it's Dex and Athletics.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
Okay. Oh, that is actually surprisingly good. That is 4 successes.
4 successes, yes. You break the window.
Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to fling it from the dark so it's not obvious where it came from.
Yeah, you break the window. The man kind of...
And then I want to use obfuscate so I cannot be seen.
All right. No problem. You can do this. You are around the corner. So you decide. And you hear a commotion as men are like, what the hell? And someone starts shouting and you hear footsteps and an argument like starts around there.
Okay, I hope that's caused enough problems and I will run back to go help Daniel.
Janina, the same roll. Once again.
Okay. I have 4 successes. No.
Yes, 4 successes. So you see that Daniel is still struggling with Janina.
Okay.
Still struggling to pull her off the person.
Okay.
Like it seems like he almost manages, and then she kind of just pulls back and wraps herself around the woman, and he's trying to unlock her hands.
I would like to grab Janina by the hair and tug her hair back.
Roll your strength and roll.
I might point a blood into my strength because I'm real bad at this.
Fair,
so
absolutely, no problem.
Use that blood point. Yeah, strength and brawl. Wonderful. That's not a good roll for me. Okay, I'm continuing doing okay, so that is 2 successes.
All right, so that is definitely like that will do it together with Daniel.
Okay.
So as you rush up and he is sort of pulling and trying to force Janina's hands just open, you pull her head back and together you're able to pull her off the woman and just hold her down.
Okay.
Then it takes a moment. You hear the argument there, like in the street that you caused, becoming, especially given few people being drunk, quite shouty and quite unpleasant words are being thrown around.
That's fine. I've caused chaos.
And Janina is thrashing, trying to grab and claw at you, but you and Daniel are holding her. And after a moment, she starts calming down.
once she calms, I go over to the woman, make sure she hasn't regained consciousness yet.
Oh no, the woman is unconscious.
Oh, good. I will lick the wound then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, no problem. You can do that. Janina, you can take 5 blood points. 5.
Oh, so will I? Will I get? How many? Sorry, it froze for a bit. 5. Okay. Okay.
Oh, oops.
And you come to, you realize, you feel the hands holding you down, somebody's body on top of you holding you down, somebody holding your head by your hair, just pushing you down into the ground. You feel some of the gravel and stones on your cheek, and you feel more satiated.
I'm looking to Daniel as she's calming down and going, if we leave the woman by the alleyway, the mouth of the alleyway, she should be found by the people that are having an argument right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, we should do that.
Okay.
And you feel like the hold on you eases at this point, and someone kind of cleans your face a little bit, and asks, Janina, are you all right now?
Yes, I'm fine, but I think I figure out what happened. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We're well versed at this point.
Yeah.
What about the woman? And I try to look for her.
She's right next to you. She's unconscious.
While my strength is boosted, could I try and pick her up? And could I use obfuscate while she's unconscious?
Yes. There's not many people on the street. How much strength do you have now?
At the moment, 2.
2. Just roll me your strength and athletics with difficulty 6.
Okay. Okay, that is 2 successes.
Yeah, you can pick her up. It is a bit of a struggle for you still.
Not ideal,
you don't feel you would be able to carry her very far.
No, that's fine. I basically just want to get her to the mouth of the alleyway and just kind of leave her so her arm and some of her hair is sticking out into the alley, and then run back.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, absolutely. So then someone should find her.
So Janina, you see Bea picking up the woman, carrying her towards where there are voices and people.
Did I kill her?
No, I don't think. No,
you haven't.
Okay.
We pulled you off.
Too well.
Once I come back, she should be found relatively quickly. There's people around. We should get back to the hotel before anything comes around the corner.
Yes, that's
right.
Avoid those people there.
Yes, they will be busy for some time.
Daniel just looks at you like, okay, and starts looks to you. It's like, well, you lead the way.
Of course, yes. And we were looking for a back door to the hotel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you start walking back. And you can find a back door. No problem. Janina, you know how these places are generally set up. You look around a bit and you are able to locate an entrance that is used by the staff. And
is it locked?
It's not locked. There's people coming and going. Yeah. So you will be able to find a moment to sneak in there. As you're standing there, Daniel just kind of comes up as well and looks to you, Janina. I guess this is it. Return to Glory's Camarilla.
Yeah. I hope it will be pleasant stay for you. At least you will be safe.
I have my doubts about all that, but, well, it's fine. I'll manage. And he just kind of strengthens, clearly still tense.
I will
very
grab
sort of
his hand.
He takes your hand.
I'm gonna hold his hand and I will lead him inside with Bea.
I will follow a little bit behind, still feeling a little awkward. Well, quite awkward.
And you make your way inside. You takes you a moment because you're trying to be sneaky. But you know Hotel Bristol a bit already. And Janina has her experience of working in various hotels and restaurants like that. So where do you want to head inside the hotel?
I think we will try to go to our room first. At least I could change the bloody shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So yes, you can get to the section that was more like dedicated to kindred, where I think Belle already has keys to the rooms. Which room are you heading into?
I look to, do you want to go to your room or mine?
Is Felicia in yours?
I think she was looking for the sheriff, but in fact, might I suggest we go to your room?
Yeah.
I need to have words with Mother when she gets back. And there's a flicker of quite strong emotion behind that.
Can I try to figure out what emotion it is? Yes, absolutely. Roll perception and empathy. Difficulty 6. Bea, are you trying to hide any of your emotions? My penalties apply, right? Yes. You are distracted from pain. Not good. 2 1s.
Oh no!
You don't have a clue. You don't see, like, I'm not gonna make something bad happen for that in this case. I think there's no need, but you just don't see, like, you don't. Bea just mentioned something about Mother. It doesn't. Maybe you're too distracted. You're
in
grieving.
pain.
You're in pain. She talks about her sire a lot, so it just kind of falls into that box in your head.
I turn to Daniel and say, Nina has also made it. She's in Mother's and my room. I could send her through to you.
I would.
Or would you like some space?
I'm sorry. Can you please repeat what you said, because I didn't hear anything.
Nina escaped with us. Would you like me to send her through to the room with you, or should I give you some space?
Give us some space, and then maybe we can regroup.
Okay.
Daniel, it was like he started to say something, but when Janina said that, he just nods his head.
Okay.
Right, lead the way. And I will lead him to our room.
I'll let Nina know that you're both alive.
Thank you.
I'll give you a few minutes, and I'll head into Mother's room.
So you go to Mother's room, and you and Nina head with Daniel towards what used to be your and Mara's room. I think when Bea says that Nina also survived, I think there's a flash of anger inside of me that she survived and Mara didn't. Yes. But I'm keeping it to myself. Of course. Daniel is following you. He's not being intrusive in any way. You talked about your feelings before. He knows how you feel. He's just there with you. And you open the door. And you go into a room that you used to share with Mara, and see a bed you used to both sleep on, and some of her things and dresses and costumes from the theater still placed there.
I'm trying to hold myself, and we have a bathroom there?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
In the room?
Yes, you do.
Sorry, you froze on me.
Yes.
You said something, please. Okay, so there is a bathroom. And I will show Daniel the bed and tell him that he can be at home, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom where I clean myself up and changed into something. I guess I have some spare shirt or something.
Yes, you have that. No problem. You clean yourself.
And I will, if there's like a sink, I will wash the blood from the most obvious, like face, hands, and that's
yes,
probably.
you can clean yourself from the blood and dirt, and after a moment you are cleaned, you changed. Do you come out, or
I will probably stay for a bit, and I'm gonna. Is there a mirror?
Yes, there would be a mirror.
I will try to look at myself in the mirror and try to hold myself and not crying, because I think I already cried so much. I don't want to, become just a wreck. So I'm trying to hold myself for Daniel and for Bea. And after a while, I mean like 5 minutes, I'm gonna come out and sit next to Daniel and offer him if he wants to get clean. I don't have any male shirt, but at least they can go clean. And I can maybe tell him that I could ask the guy, Mariusz is his name, the ghoul in the reception, if he could give him some new clothes.
For now, I'll make do with what I have. And he looks at his clearly dirty, slightly torn clothing. I believe I'm gonna have to announce my presence before, well, making any requests on ghouls in this place.
Well, if you want to, but I don't think the ghoul would ask questions if I ask him for my shirt. Maybe it's for me.
Well, if you give it a go.
I will. And I will stroke his face and tell him, you have to be representative here. And I try to smile at him.
He smiles in this joyless, bitter sort of way. Still clearly tense ever since you approached the hotel.
I'm sorry, you keep freezing a bit, so.
Oh no,
you're fine for me. I think it
was just for it's yes, I think it's the internet connection.
He gives you a joyless, bitter smile.
Yeah.
And just says thank you. Right, I'm gonna go get myself cleaned up a bit for
the
fancy society. Meanwhile, Bea, you enter the room, and you find Nina is lying on a bed, and Felicia is sitting next to her, humming a tune, stroking her hair, her arm, in this calming manner. And Nina is just sort of lying there resting. There's still a little bit of blood dried on her face from when she was crying. And as you open the door, Felicia looks up, strokes Nina a few more times. You rest now, my dear. This will help you calm down. And she looks to you. Bea, how did it go?
Janina and Daniel are alive. They're next door.
And Mara is gone, isn't she?
Mara is dead, yes. I look her straight in the face as I say that.
I hoped she would come back with them. I kept hoping.
And I just have this bubbling anger in my chest.
And Felicia stands up and starts coming up to you. A bit, her face, just a slight grimace of pain crosses it. But she controls it after that. She comes up to you.
I wouldn't have left them if you hadn't told me to. Maybe if I'd stayed, maybe Mara would still be alive.
She comes up to you and she wants to hug you.
I step back.
You step back. She lets you do this. My dear, there was no chance. I needed to keep you safe, at least you.
I left my sister to die. And I shout that. It's probably audible through the wall. Because of you, I left my sister to die.
Janina, you hear that faintly. Probably you would have heard it as you were in the bathroom. Felicia looks to you.
And I'm
I
shaking in anger.
understand that you're upset, my dear child, but try to understand the thing that came there, those creatures. Why didn't they run? Why didn't they all run?
A bloody tear runs down my cheek, and I close my eyes. And there's just this sort of mixing anger and grief and self-loathing.
She looks to you, just completely focused on you in this moment, having forgotten everything around. Takes another step towards you, wanting to hug you.
I think my eyes are closed at this point, so I'm not really registering what she's doing.
Yeah. So she would wrap her arms around you.
I'm completely rigid. I'm completely rigid in her arms, but I stand there.
Shh. Calm down, my dear. You're upset now.
Don't.
That's understandable. It will pass. We are all grieving. It's a tragedy what happened. But you are safe. And you're the dearest one to me. You've always been the dearest one to me. I had to keep you safe. I couldn't risk losing you. What's your humanity?
That is a big ol' 5.
Okay.
Can I feel her doing this?
Roll me perception and occult with difficulty 7.
It wouldn't be awareness with my specialty. Someone's in my head.
Oh, actually, it could be, yes. Yes, I was gonna do it off your dementation for dot, but yes, you can actually perception and awareness.
Okay. Oh shoot. That is difficulty was
7.
1, 2, 3. Nope. 2.
Yes, you realize what she is doing at certain point. Well, let's see how
I will
well she
wait for
does,
her to start.
actually.
I will wait for her.
Yeah, you realize that like your anger is dissipating
As
and
it
disappearing.
starts, but too late for me to actually stop it. Her voice comes out slightly hysterical. Don't take this away from me, too. And then by the end of the sentence, it's flat.
And you feel a moment of calm.
And I just stand there emotionless and zoned out and just exhausted.
It's not going to last very, very well. So not immediately, but in a bit, you will be back.
Okay.
Feeling what you felt. But at this moment, you stand there and she's just holding you.
I wait until
she feels better. You are feeling better now, don't you?
Yes, Mother. I wait until she lets me go, and I just stand there woodenly.
She lets you go, and she says, "We should go talk to Janina. I would like to see her. I'm so happy at least she made it back." Where is she?
She is next door, Mother. I will get my sewing kit. Clothes are damaged. I can mend them. And I go and pick up.
Do that, dear.
I go and pick up my kit and just head through completely emotionless.
And as you do that, she just comes to Nina and strokes her hair again. And you stay here, my dear. Just relax here. And then she follows you out. Janina, so Daniel, went into the bathroom. You have heard Bea shouting.
Okay. When I'm alone in the room, I will slowly go towards Mara's bed and I sit on it and try to look through her things. And I think there's the dress.
Yes.
The dress, and I will stroke it and hold it in my arms.
Yes,
and
there
try
is a
to
dress.
try to smell it. So I could smell her.
You do, and you remember mending that dress for her after you took it from the theater.
Yes, and I try to think about some memories of her and moments together with Bea and just the two of us, and try to remember that and not what the last memories of her I saw. Try to remember her smile and her voice. And I probably start to cry, even though I try to hold myself back. I will definitely sob a bit into the dress. I will curl with the dress in the corner of the bed.
All right. Bea, Felicia is following you towards the room.
I knock on the door.
Is this you, Bea?
Yes.
Okay, wait a minute, and I'm gonna put the dress away and dry my tears into the clothes, or maybe if the dress is black, I will do it into the dress. So it wasn't. And when I made myself a bit presentable, I will shout, "Come in."
I walk in, still quite stiffly. There's still kind of a tear stain down the side of one cheek. And I think I might have changed shirts because I think my shirt also got damaged in the fight, so I would have changed and brought my spare shirt through with me. And I very woodenly kind of sit down in one of the chairs and look at Janina and say, do you have any clothes that need mended?
I think the shirt I had before is completely ruined, so I don't think if you can do anything with it. But maybe Daniel could use some mending on his shirt. He's in the bathroom.
We could maybe use it as patches then for if Daniel's shirt needs fixed. And she just kind of stares into the middle distance for a moment, then picks up her own shirt and just starts trying to mend it.
Fixed on Bea.
Yeah.
But if I see Felicia coming...
Felicia is coming in soon after that.
I will give her a cold stare, and
she just looks to you. Janina, my dear, I'm so glad to see you. And she comes up to you.
I'm not pushing her away, but I'm not interested in her.
So she will wrap her arms around you and hug you, give you her quite strong hug.
I will let her hug me, but I'm not hugging her back, and I'm not... If I can see Bea, then I will look at Bea.
You can, yes, you can look at Bea, who is sewing, mending her own shirt. And Felicia just gives you this hug, and so, Janina, I'm so glad to see you. I can't even express. I'm so glad you're here.
You left us.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I left you.
Well, Mara's gone.
I know.
Maybe she would have survived if you stayed, or if you also tried to help us run away.
I hoped you would.
You abandoned us.
I hoped you would follow the moment we started running. Why didn't you? Why didn't you both run?
Because Mara didn't want to abandon us. It was our fault anyway, so we should have stayed, but we hoped you wouldn't abandon us. But you did.
Nina.
It was
she just hugs
my
you.
fault. Okay, I will lean in and I will probably burst into tears. And it was my fault. I mean, Mars too, but I gave her this idea and it was a mistake. And now she's gone.
My dear.
And it's my fault.
I'm so sorry. And she's just hugging you.
I will probably hug her back because I'm just a wreck, so I just gonna hold her and cry myself.
Bea, you notice this happening. How are you feeling?
Numb. There's this weird feeling where I'm happy that she's hugging Mother. I'm slightly disappointed that she's angry with her, but I know logically I should be angry with Mother too, but also I'm not. Not right now, not anymore. So instead I just focus on sewing. I can fix this. I can mend this shirt. And once it's done, I will fold it and put it aside.
And you spend a moment like this, you sewing, Janina and Felicia hugging, and the door from the bathroom opens. Daniel comes out in a slightly wet shirt where he was clearly trying to wash off some of the dirt and blood that was covering it. You see there's few patches on it already from how it was mended before. It's pretty worn, tired-looking garment. And he just looks to you, to Janina and Felicia, and he looks a bit longer to Janina and Felicia, and it's like, hello again.
I will let go of Felicia and I will dry my tears and get up.
And Felicia will come up to Daniel and just like, oh, hello, I'm so glad to see you. Thank you so much for keeping Janina safe. And she comes up and she like takes his hand and starts shaking. And Daniel is kind of surprised and doesn't really respond to this. And then just looks to her like, yeah, of course I kept her safe. Well, I believe I should. Bea, would you come with me to look on that poor girl who came with us?
Of course.
She was so upset.
Yes, Mother. And I very woodenly stand up and pick up my equipment. I would like to roll a self-control check so that I can kiss Janina on the forehead before I go.
All right. I think we said it was difficulty 6 for your coterie, or I don't remember.
Yep, I think
but
it was
let's say
like
6. Yeah.
3 successes.
Yes.
I think while I'm feeling this numb, it's easier. And so I lean over, sort of stroke her cheek slightly, kiss her on the forehead, and say, "We'll be back."
And I will lean for a hug before she goes.
I will hug her and hold her very tightly for a moment.
I will hold her too, and I will stroke her hair.
Then I leave, sort of letting my hand sort of drift through her hair as I leave. And I will follow Mother out.
Felicia waits for you, and she doesn't say much. She just comes with you back to the room. Where she opens the door and enters. And goes to Nina, who is just lying there, like really numb as well. And then looks to you. Yeah, would you like me to read to you? Maybe that would help you calm down.
Maybe. Should we not tell someone that Daniel has arrived? Is that not?
Oh, I believe he can introduce himself. Unless you want to.
I think it would be best. I think it would be best to inform people. It'll be easier for him in the future, and I want to make Janina's life a little easier.
Of course. So silly of me not to think of that. Shall we go together?
Yes, Mother, and I will by the door. Briefly pause to kind of rub the blood off of my cheek.
And she will go with you towards the lounge. Most of the Camarilla kindred usually hang out. Janina, you're left with Daniel. He looks to you. How are you holding up?
How do you think I hold up?
I
lost person that was closest to me.
I know.
And I know how you feel, because you lost the other girl. I'm sorry.
It wasn't your fault.
I know, but it doesn't change. It doesn't change that I feel responsible. Do you want to visit Nina in the other room?
Maybe let's give her some space.
Right.
Or
do you think others made it?
I really hope so. I don't know. I hope some of them did. That thing, what? I've never seen anything like this. The fuck.
But it was my fault that it came there. I suggested that Mara talk to the animals.
I really hoped nothing would come out of it. For fuck's sake. I'm sorry, I'd like to. I'm a lousy, person to lean on. Don't have much hope or joy myself.
Can you please repeat, because it froze again? I'm sorry.
It's I'm lousy and consoling people. I don't have much joy or hope myself.
I guess that's kindred life. No hope. Nothing.
Yeah. Truly amazing. That.
What purpose do we have to exist?
I wish I knew. Purpose. And you see he almost laughing in this kind of too many emotions, losing it sort of way. He tries to control it. A little bit of it just comes out. I wish I could give you the answer.
I know, it was just... I know you don't have the answer. It was a rhetorical question. I just have a hard time imagining any motivation for the future. What purpose do I have to exist? I don't want to live my life just feeding on people.
I honestly don't know how to answer that. But I like that you exist. I'm glad that you do.
I will stroke his face and I will hug him.
He hugs you back.
And I say, I also glad that you exist and that you survive.
He hugs
you and Bea.
A bit more harder with that.
Anything that I have left.
You just lock you in this hug. Hugging each other very strongly. Bea, you go with Felicia towards the Elysium. And as you enter, you see various people you've seen there. Is there anyone in particular you're looking for?
I'm either looking for Cornelia or the sheriff, or one of the hounds, although I'm not sure if I would recognize them at this point.
Possibly not. You recognize Cornelia, who is there. She is in a conversation with someone you don't quite recognize, some older looking man. But she looks to you too as you enter.
I give her a sort of hollow smile.
She finishes her conversation very quickly and comes up to you and Felicia.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miss Wozniak.
I spoke with your Primogen earlier this evening, and he wished for me to inform him if... Sorry, I should update you. There was an attack earlier this evening on the Anarch stronghold. He asked me to inform him if Janina survived. She has returned. So I just wish to convey that message, if possible.
I will get it to him.
Thank you.
I'm sure he will be pleased to hear she's safe.
Of course.
How are you holding up? Do you require anything?
I pause for a moment, open my mouth to say something, close it again, then open it again and say, no, thank you. I appreciate your concern, but I think a night's rest somewhere safe will do me good.
You are safe here.
Thank you. And I give her a slightly warmer smile than I did before.
She smiles. She exchanges nods with Felicia, who is moving away at this point towards the Bruja Primogen, who entered the room and is talking to a woman you don't recognize, looking in her early 30s with wavy blonde hair.
Okay.
And Felicia is just moving towards them.
Okay. Once my conversation with Cornelia wraps up, I will politely excuse myself and then follow after Felicia.
So you follow after Felicia, who stops, sort of not to interrupt the conversation. And Zygmunt, the Bruja Primogen, notices the two of you, smiles at the woman he's been talking to. Just give me a moment. And glances towards you, takes a few steps.
Good evening, sir.
Felicia, Beatrice. Good evening.
I look to Felicia because I'm not sure who she's spoken to yet.
Felicia smiles. Primogen, I'm not sure if you had a chance to hear all the information about what happened tonight with, I believe, your child's associates. But I am happy to inform you that one of them, she glances to you, Daniel, I don't know his last name, has returned together with our dear Janina. Zygmunt takes that in, nods his head and smiles. I am glad to hear they're safe. I will. Well, Daniel was always the troublesome one, as you may recall, and he gives a slight smile to Felicia, who smiles back. Yes, Primogen, I didn't forget. All the mess that he could make around himself. And he just says, indeed. Where is he? Is he hiding somewhere in a corner? and you see this smile. It's like there is nothing menacing about it. It's more like amused, sort of.
Okay.
A bit playful, even.
Okay. I'm listening in, but I'm still feeling quite numb, and there's maybe like a slight polite smile more than actually finding it funny. But I'm just listening.
Yeah. And Felicia says, "Oh, I believe he is with Janina, staying with her in her room, making himself presentable. Well, according to himself, I believe." And
some shade is being thrown.
Zygmunt just smiles at that. It's like, well, better pay him a visit then.
I'm sure he's going to love that.
The sooner we sort out all the possible formalities, the better for everyone involved. And I'm sure my child will be happy to find him well. Thank you for the information. I appreciate it. And I'm glad to see both of you are safe.
I give a tight smile at that. I think I'm not entirely sure how long the effects would have been continuing to work.
We'll be wearing off soon.
Okay.
I was about to mention that like, you know,
good.
As Zygmunt is moving away, wishing you politely pleasant rest of the night, and he turns towards the woman he's been talking to, and you just hear him like, I understand you've been reading, and he continues talking about some book. You feel the numbness start lifting and your anger returning.
I will turn and leave the room as composed as I can, without saying another word to anyone else. But yes, I will try to leave the room.
And Felicia will just, she will turn to you to say, well, I believe that is sorted.
I think I'm already heading out the door.
You're already heading out, so you're not letting her do this. Okay.
Nope. No, I'm not.
What would she actually do? She would start walking after you, but then someone intercepts her, and she looks back to you.
I've got my back to her. I am leaving.
Yeah.
I cannot be in this room anymore.
So you've left, and she left. She has stayed behind. Where are you heading?
I'm heading back to. I get halfway to Janina and Daniel, to sort of the rooms, and then pause, and then stand there in the corridor with this sort of overwhelming emotion, not sure where to go or where I'm welcome. I don't want to intrude on Janina and Daniel. I don't want to intrude on Nina. So I will just wander the corridors for a while.
So you start wandering corridors. As Janina is sitting with Daniel, hugging him in her room. And I think this is a good moment to take a short break. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us. Thank you that you want to continue this story with us. And we will be back shortly after we just have a quick rest.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. And welcome back after this break. We are going to have a bit shorter session today since there's less of us. We're just getting back into the swing of things. So we will go on for, I think, about an hour still. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. We hope you will enjoy that. So, without further ado, let's jump right back in. Janina, you're sitting with Daniel. You're hugging. He takes quite a while. He's not in no hurry to stop hugging you. He almost clings to you for a moment.
I will lean for a hug, and I'm also enjoying like a connection and that we are safe and just, the two of us, because I also love Daniel. He's my sire and also friend. It feels good to have him back.
And you just sit like that together for a moment. He's not saying anything more. And after a while,
I'm also probably silent.
Yeah, there is a knock on the door. And you hear a voice of Zygmunt, your primogen.
Oh.
Janina, Daniel, my children. Are you inside? Hiding?
Yes, please. I will say, yes, we are here. Please come in.
So he comes in.
I will let go of Daniel, so we just
he
like
lets go of you. He kind of straightens and stands up, almost instinctively, at which Zygmunt just kind of smirks.
God.
He looks to both of you. Janina, I am so glad to see you back and safe.
Thank you.
I've been worried about you. I can see you probably need some time for yourself right now, so I will of course leave it to you, but I would like to speak to you when we get a chance. Nothing urgent.
Of course.
There's also someone I would like to introduce to you. But again, it's nothing urgent. And then he looks to Daniel and smirks again. Daniel, my dear boy, did you finally get tired of fighting for the cause? Are you ready to behave? And Daniel is just standing there, very straight. And he takes a moment just looking, and then he just says like, I guess. At which Zygmunt smiles. Bit broader smile appears on his face. There's no malice in there, as far as you can see, at least. Just certain amusement, a little bit of mockery. So, you are willing to actually help build something better instead of running around fighting whoever you were fighting. Daniel just shrugs and looks down. Can we just get this over with? And he looks kind of tense, kind of tired, kind of worried in all this. Again, very close
I will probably
language.
stand up, and I'm gonna go next to Daniel, and I will hold his arms, just like
he gives you a little smile,
just like a moral support.
Zygmunt looks to him a little bit more. Well, all right then, my boy. Come with me. We'll have a more private chat and resolve whatever needs to be resolved to allow you to stay here again with all of us in the Camarilla. At which Daniel sort of looks up. Will I have to talk to the prince? Zygmunt gives a sort of amused but benevolent laugh at that. And I believe it would be polite to inform her that you're back and apologize for some of your earlier behavior, don't you think? Daniel just looks a bit dispirited at that.
I will hold him tighter.
He holds your hand back. And then sort of, let's go. And like, all right then, well, let's just get it done. And he kind of takes a step towards Zygmunt, who just smiles and says, I agree, it's better to have it out of the way, and you can enjoy the company of everyone around here. And he looks to you, Janina, and says, don't worry, Janina. No harm will come to him.
Right.
Looks to him, maybe, to his pride, but that can rarely be helped.
I just look at Daniel and assuringly smile at him.
And Daniel is just staying there. He looks to you and I'll survive. And Zygmunt lets him through the door. Come on then, let's deal with all the formalities. And Daniel starts walking out.
I probably feel a bit uneasy when he leaves because...
And Zygmunt just stops before he leaves, looks to you. Thank you for bringing him back. Nothing to worry about. You will be safe here.
Thank you. And I will nod politely. But still, when I see Daniel, leave, there's a bit of anxiety in me because I don't want to be separated and I don't want to be alone.
Are you trying to hide it?
Probably not too much.
Okay then. Well, Zygmunt is about to go, but then he looks closer, more carefully at you. Are you going to be all right, Janina? Do you require
Yes.
I am sorry to take your sire away from you at this moment. I just believe it's better if the prince knows immediately.
Of course.
So that we can put all the past conflicts behind us.
Just keep him safe.
It's nothing to worry about.
I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna find my sister.
You just nods. If I see her, I'll let her know you're looking for her.
Thank you.
And he nods and leaves, leaving you alone in the room.
Right, I'm gonna probably sit for a moment, and then I will try to go to Bea's room to look for her.
All right. Meanwhile, Bea, you are wandering the corridors.
Yeah.
Aimlessly. What are you thinking about as you do this? What's in your head?
It's kind of the sort of burning anger and just feeling of being overwhelmed and not feeling like I have a place. I don't feel comfortable being around Mother, although I know I still feel drawn to her, but I want to pull away from that. I want to go to my sister, but I feel like I'm the reason that Mara's dead. So I feel like she's probably going to hate me. And she has her own sire that she's comfortable with. And then there's this brief moment of who will I go to if I can't remember things, if I can't speak to Mother and I can't speak to Janina. And so I pull out my notebook and I write down, Mother is the reason I left Mara. I wouldn't have left if she hadn't told me to. Janina is angry. She says that she doesn't want to live. I'm scared for her. She is my sister and I love her. And finally, I have told Cornelia that Janina survived. She will tell Mr. Lubomirsky. And then the last thing I write down is, I'm scared.
So you're wandering, writing in your journal.
Yeah.
Please roll perception and alertness. I'm going to give you difficulty 8 because you are very deep in thoughts and
that's fair.
writing.
Okay, apparently I'm continuing. Oh no, it's difficulty 8. That is surprisingly 2 successes despite everything.
As you are finishing writing, I'm scared. You hear voices coming from around the corner, familiar voices. Pleasant. It evokes some pleasant memories. You can't quite immediately place them. But you hear a younger voice just telling, like, it's going to be okay. I'm very sorry. It's going to be okay. I'm really sorry I put you through this. And then another voice you also recognize says, don't worry. I'll be, well, whatever happens, I'll be all right. And you see, coming from around the corner, Rahela, you now recognize the Malkavian, appearing as about 10-year-old child, with Eliza, the Tremere, whom you've also met a few times. And at first you can't quite place her, like who she is, but you can glance through your notebook and establish who they are if you want to.
I will briefly do that, just kind of focusing on the notebook, trying to not intrude on whatever's happening. And once I've kind of placed it, I will then continue walking down the corridor, and if they see me, then I will speak.
Yeah, they are sort of coming almost like from around the corner and towards you, so you would be going past them.
I'm probably still sort of looking at the notebook as I turn around the corner to
So you are looking at the notebook, you're aware of them, and then they sort of stop. They go quiet as they see you.
I'll glance up.
Rahela looks to you. Yeah.
It's good to see. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
And you look to them, you see. Do you pay much attention to them or not particularly?
I think now that I'm in a conversation with them, yes, I'm paying attention.
Perception and empathy.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
Okay. Wow, that is not a fantastic roll. So that is 1 success.
1 success. Okay. So you can't really see much from Eliza. She appears very composed. But you see that like Rahela is holding her hand and looking to her a bit anxiously, not even trying to hide it.
Okay.
And you see Rahela is wearing white, clearly too big for her, decorative blue and gold shawl with ornamental patterns wrapped around her. It almost looks like a cape when she has it around herself.
I think I know where she got that from. I'm not sure whether Bea remembers, but I think I know where she got that from.
I don't think Bea would remember that.
Wonderful. Good. That's fine.
Maybe there is like a flash of familiarity there, but you can't quite place it.
Maybe I've seen her wearing it before. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So she is like anxiously looking to and looks to you, clearly distracted.
I can leave if I'm intruding on anything. It's
and Eliza looks to you at this. No, it's all right. I'm glad to see you back.
Thank you.
Safe.
Thank you. And there's this brief moment where I take a moment to compose myself because I'm still feeling a lot of emotions right now. I'm not necessarily trying to hide it. I maybe a little bit, but not a lot.
Rahela just like fixates on you more, just more intense, more focus. Did something happen?
Yes. I was sent back to speak to the Count's people, and the next night after we woke, this evening after we woke up, we were attacked by the Sabbat. Janina and her sire escaped, and myself and Felicia and another of the Count's people escaped. Mara is dead.
She kind of, for a moment, doesn't register. And then you see the shock in her face. And
I take a moment and just close my eyes and just stand there.
And she starts sort of blinking and stares at you. Eliza is more composed. She sort of puts her hand around Rahela, pulls her in a bit closer, looks to you. I am very sorry to hear that. You must be in terrible pain.
Thank you.
My condolences for whatever that really means.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your concern.
And Rahela, you see like few tears appear in her eyes. She wipes them, kind of angrily almost.
I pretend to not see them.
And she just says, I'm really sorry to hear that. I liked her a lot.
She was the best of us. One of them.
She was... Well, she was one of the nice ones.
She was.
And you see that she stops herself, she wanted to say something, stops herself, and then starts thinking and focuses really deep into herself, sort of, and almost zones out for a moment, and pulls in closer to Eliza, pulls her hand.
Could I use Eyes of Chaos to try and figure what's taken her attention?
Yes, actually you can.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, why not? Let's do this. Perception and occult.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a difficulty 6. It's she's not really it's all quite out there. You're standing right next to her.
Does insightful apply?
For this specific thing, I would say that yes.
Okay, then that is 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So you look to her. You focus on her. And you see. You almost start seeing through her eyes various people, various important people in the Camarilla, and you see this calculating thing, as if she's looking to them, trying to assess who is the best option to associate with, who could take interest in her, who could keep her safe. And there isn't anyone in particular she is focusing on. But you see how she was thinking about Mara, and you see genuine hurt there, looking into her very essence. But you also see there a flicker of the thought she suppresses first and then focuses on, which is almost like I knew it type of thing. The lack of surprise, which again sends her thinking about all those options. And you see that she is trying to find a way to survive and assessing all others along their capability to do so. And so you learn her nature, that is survivor.
I take a mental note of that and I will write it down when I have the next opportunity. And I think I respect that. I respect the sort of... I'm a little upset that it's revolving around Mara, but I also respect the sort of pragmatism that she's looking at this with. And I can understand where she's coming from. I suppose I can definitely understand where she's coming from. I can see what she's thinking. So I just kind of come to and shake my head slightly.
And they look to you.
So sorry. Forgive me. I'm a little all over the place tonight.
Eliza just nods her head. That's perfectly understandable.
There's a slightly almost hysterical laugh that comes out. Forgive me.
Rahela looks to you. Can we do anything?
I think we need time to process this. Maybe in the next couple of nights, if you could check in with Janina and see how she's doing. She'd probably appreciate that.
I will.
Other than that, I think, well, we're not okay, but I don't think there's very much people can do at the minute. But I do appreciate your offers, so thank you.
Well, Rahela tries to give you a little smile. You can see that her thoughts are like, it's not this focus anymore. Now it's back more anxiety. She's glancing to Eliza.
I give her a warm smile, as warm as I can muster.
And she says, well, if I can ever do anything to help, let me know.
I appreciate that, and I will absolutely let you know. And if you need anything from me as well, let me know. And I give her another warm smile.
And then they continue walking along the corridor in the opposite direction.
Once they're gone, I write down Rahela is looking for someone to keep her safe. She is a survivor.
Right. And then as they are walking away, you just hear Eliza lean into Rahela and just say, it's all right. You and I need to look out for each other. And they disappear. And Rahela responds, but you don't hear anymore. They walk away.
I also note that down in the book as well, and then continue wandering.
So you continue wandering aimlessly around corridors. Janina, you come up to the door of Bea's room.
I will knock.
You knock. There is silence for quite a long time, and then you hear, yes, I don't think they're here at the moment. And you recognize Nina's voice.
Oh, I see. Do you want to be alone?
Is that Janina? Is that you? Come in.
And I will come in at this.
And you see that she's sitting up on the bed. She clearly just sat up. Her short hair is a bit messy in a bit of a disarray. She has some of her dried bloody tears on her face. She looks to you. And looks to you with this kind of numb look and just says, I heard you and Daniel made your way here. Bea and Felicia talked about
he's
this.
Now with he's with Zygmunt, the Bruja Primogen, and I think they went to speak to the prince about Daniel staying here.
I'm going to have to introduce myself as well. Well, reintroduce myself.
Are you all right? How are you holding up?
I don't feel anything. And she looks almost confused at it at this moment.
Do I know that Felicia can do this?
I'm actually not sure if you would.
Yeah.
She's definitely done it to Bea several times, especially when Bea's been around the girl. So it might be something it might be an expression she recognizes more than an ability.
Roll me wit and empathy. With difficulty 7.
I believe in you.
I have 1 success.
1 success. So for a moment you're confused. Like, what does she mean? And then something clicks and you recognize Bea. behaving very similarly from time to time. Often after interacting with Felicia.
I see. I guess maybe Felicia did something to you to make you feel like this.
Maybe she said she wanted to make me feel better. I'm not sure if I want to. What? I'm glad you and Daniel are safe.
Thank you.
I hope more people
I'm
are.
glad that you're safe. Yeah, we don't know who else survived.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I know you loved her.
I did. And it's awkward. Awkward silence.
There is a bit of moment of awkward silence when you can see that she's kind of trying to be consoling, but she kind of comes across much more desensitized than she wants to even. And then she looks to you. I'm sorry I'm like this.
It's not your fault if Felicia did something to you.
It did calm me, which I suppose is good. But I don't like thinking about them all and not feeling the sadness and grief.
I would not want that. I want to feel the real emotions, or at least the remains of real emotions that we have.
I think it's important too.
I will probably sit next to her, and if she lets me, I will try to brush her hair a bit. Maybe put her in a ponytail or, a braid.
It's a bit too short for that. It's a very sort of short haircut. But you can brush it and arrange it a bit.
Okay, at least I will brush her a bit.
Yeah. Yes, she is a bit surprised at it. But then she gives you a smile, almost out of habit, it seems. So, thank you, my dear. And there is still this numbness there. It is as if some kind of habit, instinctual response just kicked in, and she's trying to be almost flirtatious, but it falls kind of flat. But you start brushing her hair. What are you thinking about as you're doing this, Janina?
Okay. Well, after a while, I will ask her, do you know when Bea is coming back or where she is?
I don't know. She went with Felicia to, I think, tell someone that you and Daniel were back, and she hasn't been here since.
Oh, so maybe she's in the lounge.
I believe they would head there if that's where everyone is.
Right.
I don't know.
All right. After a while, if Bea doesn't come back, I will
Of course,
get
so
up
much
and
chaos tonight.
explain
Sorry.
myself that I'm gonna I'm gonna look for Bea.
You're looking for Bea. And Bea,
And I
you're
will
wandering corridors.
Yep. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna roll to see if you bump into each other.
Whoops. Chaos ensues.
You actually do.
Yay.
Yeah.
So, Janina, as you are walking towards the lounge, you see Bea come from like
stairwell,
yeah, like from the floor above, just come down. And you, Bea, see Janina.
There's this brief moment where her face kind of lifts in sort of recognition, and then she almost kind of falls in on herself and stands there a little awkwardly, and waits to see how you respond.
If I see Bea, I'm gonna see when she sees me, and if she doesn't go towards me, I will go towards her.
Okay, so we're not just awkwardly standing at the opposite end of the floor. Good.
Yeah.
When she sees you approach, she will also come forward. It was just this sort of moment of there's this moment of uncertainty from her, which I don't think you've often really seen from her. She usually acts with purpose and knows how to deal with social situations, so this is quite unusual for her. But she will come over.
Are you lost?
Not in the usual sense, I guess. No.
I've been looking for you. I thought you were at the lounge.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't apologize.
I didn't know if you wanted to see me.
I will maybe stay silent for a while looking at her, like trying to think what she's thinking. And after a while, I'm gonna just try to hold her hand.
I will roll that self-control check.
Roll it, difficulty 6.
A 1 success.
Yes, you don't flinch.
I will hold her, but not like tightly, just like slightly. Of course, I want to see you. I'm glad that you're safe. And I know it's not your fault.
As you say, of course, I want to see you. She gives this quite watery smile, of sort of barely holding it together. And when she says it's not your fault, would it be self-control to not cry when I'm like really close to crying?
Yes. Roll for self-control. You're pretty close to crying. Let's say 7.
Okay. 1 success.
You barely.
Yeah, there's clearly like the tears building up in the eyes. There's clearly blood running there. She's desperately trying to not cry in a corridor. But yeah, she just her fingers kind of twitch around your fingers and sort of wanting to hold your hand but struggling a little bit to do so.
Let's maybe go somewhere private. And I will lead her back to our room, my room, with Mara.
I followed like very quietly. It's almost like a small child sort of holding someone's hand, following after them. And yeah, she just seems very small and
little Bea.
Baby Bea.
Now I like imagine like the chibi version of Bea.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
And once we get into the room, I think that's the point where she just starts breaking down. She's not really had a moment to properly do that this evening.
And I will try to wrap her around myself, and I'm gonna also cry. But I'm gonna like stroke her hair and say, I'm sorry, I never blame. I know it's not your fault. I know that if you could, you would have stayed. But Felicia has a way to make people emotions go away, and to do them what she wants. Don't blame yourself, all right? And I will try to hold her face and look her into her eyes.
She sits up and kind of rubs the bloody tear out of her eye, and then, still while crying, just goes, "It's that stupid blood bond. If it wasn't there, I could have done something."
You would maybe just get hurt. And I can imagine losing both of you. It's already hard that we lost her. But we still have each other, and I don't know what to do or if there is any purpose for me to live. But as long as I have you and Daniel, I'm gonna keep trying. I love you, and I kiss her on the cheek. Lets me.
I love you.
Aww. And I hug her tightly.
Well, I guess we're going to get that stupid house, she says. Just kind of looks at the wall with the sort of angry glare of, like, I'm not even sure if it's worth it at this point.
I guess it's not, but it's already done. And they better reward us. Mara's life worth more, but I guess that's what we have. And then I will let go, and I'm gonna grab some of Mara's things from her space, and I'm gonna sit next to Bea, and I don't know what kind of things Mara could have in her possession, but I will look through them with Bea.
I think she had a lot of stuff from the theater. Some costumes that you took, some props. Could have had some books, dramas, poetry.
So maybe we just looking through them and trying to remember some things about her. Some maybe funny things. To just lift up the mood. Some
would she have had any sort of more humorous plays or anything that we'd remember her reciting?
I guess she could have. I think she was more into creepy horror side of things.
Okay.
But I can also imagine that she would have maybe cited something to make you laugh.
I will maybe open up one of the books of poetry and maybe recite one of the ones that I remember her enjoying. And kind of partially doing it for Janina and also partially doing it for Mara.
And you spend some time like that, reminiscing about Mara, reading the poems she used to recite, looking at her things, until you start getting... Sorry? What?
I'm occasionally taking notes in my notebook, and Janina might see the very crude drawing that's in the book next to the lines, Mara, the actress of Clan Nosferatu, she is my sister and I love her, which is written in the book. And she continues sort of making notes and occasionally will stare quite intently at certain of Mara's possessions and maybe try to open herself up to who Mara was.
You get flashes of memories of her smile when she would perform and everyone's eyes would be on her, of her determination to do things her way, her confidence in her decisions, and things she wanted and things she chosen. What are you thinking about, Janina?
I think about Mara and Bea and what Mara would want us to do with our own life. And maybe her death will bring me even closer to Bea, and maybe we can do something. It's like very like faint thought because I'm still very depressed and sad, but it's like I'm trying to look for something bright, to something to keep me going. And now I think I'm gonna concentrate a lot on Bea and our relationship, and I will still want to keep Mara's legacy and her name and things that she had done and wanted to do, and just about how beautiful person she was, and that I'm gonna miss her so much. But I'm still trying to remember her when she was goofy and smiled. And no, I'm trying hard to replace this memory with the memory of her and the Tzimitzi diablerizing her. So I'm trying to concentrate on that.
And you start getting tired after a while, and you know the dawn is approaching. And around the time you also hear knocking at the door.
I look to Janina.
And you hear Felicia's voice. Girls, are you in there?
It's Felicia?
Yeah, it's Felicia.
I will glance at Bea.
I look at Janina.
She caught us playing. And
I'm going to roll to resist the blood bond.
All right. Well, roll your willpower with difficulty 8.
Wonderful. Nope.
No?
We're in here, Mother.
No, yes. And you try, but something in you just wants to see her.
Every time.
Despite everything you're feeling.
Yep. When Bea says that we are inside, that I'm just gonna, yes, please come in.
Yeah. She opens the door and you can see her and Nina come in. And she says, I thought I will find you in here. She looks to all the things of Mara, and there is a flash of sadness on her face. She pauses, looks a bit more tense for a moment, and then kind of shakes out of it. It is almost time to go to bed. I was wondering if Nina can stay here with you. Nina, before we sort out her staying here tomorrow. Bea, I've been looking for you. Please come.
Given that it wasn't a botch, but it was a 0 success, so I'm given that I will probably quite woodenly stand up.
Yeah.
I will probably say to Felicia, could maybe Bea stay with me tonight? I really need her.
Right. Bea, because it wasn't a botch, if you want, you can roll again to see if you can.
Oh, wonderful.
Decide.
Let's see if this gets any worse.
Yeah.
Difficulty 8?
8, yes.
But
No.
Oh no.
Every time.
Believe it or not, I actually wanted you to give a chance to it.
Yeah, but I can't do it. Can't do it.
This is the one thing for which you don't roll amazingly well.
Yeah, I got a single success and 2 ones.
All right. Well, you really want to go with Felicia at this point. You can feel bad about it. Absolutely, you can hate yourself for it.
Great, good.
But
I
you
love
want to go with her. And when
Cool.
Janina says this, you don't want to stay.
I think I'm just. There's this brief, when I first when she knocked on the door, I looked to Janina with this expression of, oh, for fuck's sake, essentially. And then she said, and then there was kind of this pause, and then she spoke up, looked frustrated. Then Felicia came in, and then when she said that Bea should go with her, she just stands up and walks straight out the room. And briefly looks back and gives this slightly hollow smile to Janina as she disappears out the door.
And Felicia looks to you, Janina. I'm sure you girls can reunite first thing tomorrow. Thank you for taking care of Nina. And Nina just says, I will sort out everything tomorrow. I won't be a bother to you.
I will smile at Nina. It's all right, Nina. This is not about you. And I smile at her. But I'm not smiling on Felicia. I feel resentment towards her.
You feel resentment. She looks to you. She does give you a smile. Well, sleep well.
Yeah, there's no way this can go wrong.
I will say nothing. I will maybe say just goodbye.
Oh, God.
And she leaves and closes the door behind her. And you stay with Nina, who looks to you and looks at the door that just closed behind Felicia. And then she just says, where? She looks to different beds. Where can I go? I don't want to.
Oh, you can sleep on my bed. I will take Mara. And if Daniel comes back, he can sleep with me on the bed.
All right. And she looks around Mara's things, but she doesn't say anything. She looks like she wants to, but she just kind of lies down on the bed, closes her eyes, and just lies there, listlessly.
I'm just sitting and trying to... because I'm angry at Felicia, because I feel when she is near Bea, that Bea just acts differently, and it bothers me. And just because when we are alone with Bea, I just could feel that she's different. She's acting more like a human. And when Felicia comes and she just says something and Bea follows her like a dog, it just makes me very angry. Not angry that I would frenzied, but more like resentment. Yeah. Resentful and just, I don't know what to do. I make a mental note to talk about with Daniel, because I don't know what else to do.
And you sit there with this frustration and resentment until you start feeling that you're almost falling asleep. And Daniel doesn't come back yet.
I will grab Mara's dress and I will wrap it around myself and fall asleep with it. Maybe crying a bit. When my thoughts shift back to Mara.
Mm-hmm. And with that, with her memory, you fall asleep. Meanwhile, Bea, you walk into your room.
I sure do.
Felicia gives you a faint smile.
I give her another faint smile. It's again quite hollow. It's very much behaving how the blood bond wants me to behave. Mother expects me to be good, so I will be good. So, yes, I give her a faint smile and offer to brush her hair.
Oh, thank you, my dear. And she lets you brush her hair. And you do that. And then she brushes yours very gently. And just says, thank you for taking care of Janina. She will need you right now.
Of course, Mother.
She gradually strokes your hair, brushing it, until you both start feeling sleepy and get ready for bed and lie down. And you hear her say, sleep well, my dear. You need to rest. I'm so glad you're safe and here with me. And she strokes your hair gently as she does it. And she starts humming one of the tunes she sometimes hums. What are you thinking about? What's going on in your head?
This bubbling anger at this complete lack of choice at this point. It almost feels like my body isn't quite my own, or my mind isn't quite my own. And there's this bubbling pit of resentment. But there's also some comfort in this being familiar, and I think the blood bond heightens that.
Yes.
So it kind of overrides it. And there's this yearning to be back in the room with Janina, but I also know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be.
And with that, you fall asleep. Thank you both for playing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being
to everyone
a
who's been
storyteller.
watching.
Thank you.
We really hope you enjoyed it. We're getting back into the story. This was, well, necessarily had to be a very emotional episode. So yes, I hope you like that. We will be back to our regular every 2 weeks schedule. So the next episode should be on the 16th of November, but we will confirm it all on Twitter, and we will put up info somewhere on Twitch about when the next episode is. So all that info will be coming now that we're back to streaming. Thank you so much for coming back to watch us again after 2 months of a break. And we hope you will enjoy the rest of our story. So see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.